Nate G219 to help it back and better. Y'all know what it is. Another one coming at you. Sorry it's been a couple weeks. Still working a lot. Just real busy. Family. Life, you know. Real things happen in real life, I mean. But first hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that channel if you want to help. But today I'm going to bring you a sad story, man. A sad story. But first, I'm actually going to bring you a couple stories. Now, in my younger days, I experimented with some hallucinogenics and never really had any bad experiences. But I did see a couple friends have what you would call a bad trip. And one of them looked into the mirror and swore he turned into Satan. And we didn't see Satan. We just saw that he was having a bad trip and tried to comfort him. He was crying, and it was a rough night for my buddy Brandon. But as far as bad trips, that's the worst I've ever seen. Now, I've heard stories of people having bad trips and doing some crazy things and causing themselves to have a very lengthy prison sentence. And, fortunately, my experience with my friend having a bad trip didn't involve anybody being harmed or anything like that. But unfortunately, on March 15th of 2015, or March 12th of 2015, David Scott and his friend Ian were experimenting with mushrooms. David was 21 at the time, and I'm thinking Ian was about the same age. Ian Buschmann. And they were at their buddy Jacob Spears' house. Jacob Spears and Ian Buschmann shared an apartment together. They were roommates because they went to IU, I believe, is where they went. But yeah, IU Bloomington. They were students. They were just having a good time. A lot of students had a good time. And I can tell you from personal experiences at parties at IU, I've had some very good times in my younger days partying with friends that went to school, because I unfortunately did not attend the colleges and whatnot. Unfortunately. Wish I had. But these gentlemen were in college, Ian and Jacob. And David was a good friend of theirs, I believe, who was in college as well. He was a 21-year-old man. But regardless, there was a party going on. And Jacob had left the house at one point in time, and to return home with his girlfriend. And when they got home, they had noticed or been informed that Jacob and Ian were tripping. They had taken some mushrooms that they were partying. So Jacob's girlfriend went to the bedroom and just did her homework. There was another girl there, which was Jacob's girlfriend. She was in the bedroom, and Ian's girlfriend, she was also there. I meant she was in the bedroom as well. But Ian was having a bad trip, and now, from personal experience, when you're having a hallucinogenic experience, you need to maintain positive energy around you in order to keep your hallucinations positive and your energy positive, because it's an energy thing. And now Ian was having a rough time, and he was crying about something, and he wouldn't stop crying, which was therefore, this is all in my opinion, by the way. And I can't tell you that, well, I'll tell you later, but from what the Court of Appeal says on the internet, it says that Ian was crying, and David appeared and fired 2 shots, one hitting, I believe, well, one hit Ian and one hit Jacob, and Ian passed because of his injury. Jacob did survive. Mr. Spears, he made I believe, well, he was paralyzed. I don't know if he ever made any recovery. I've tried to find out, but he was paralyzed initially, but he did not succumb from the injuries, thankfully. So for Mr. David Scott, he was convicted of murder and aggravated battery. Was sentenced to 60 years for murder and 14 for aggravated battery. This man's earliest possible release date is October 4th of 2059. Which, if my math is right, 48 years old. Now, yes, that does give him a second chance at life. But my question to you, does that meet the definition of murder? I don't believe it does, but that's not for me to decide. That was for the jury to decide, and they decided that it did meet the criteria for murder. But I'll tell you that, in David Scott's words, his remorse is beyond tremendous, and I wholeheartedly believe him. I was told by a couple of his friends, one his cellmate, that he is such a good kid and that he made a horrible mistake. And he is not denying that he made a horrible mistake. But I'm asking you, do you believe that meets the definition of murder? Because the definition of murder is premeditated planning of the intentional homicide of somebody. Aggravated battery, yes, that's understandable. That was definitely aggravated battery. He shot and injured his friend, paralyzed his friend, probably permanently, because normally people don't come out of paralysis. But murder, I don't know. And I've unfortunately not been able to locate any of the family of Mr. Ian Buschmann. I have sent messages out, but I've got no returns. There's a message that Mr. Scott would like me to deliver, but I'm not going to publicly deliver that message. I would rather personally deliver it. And my hearts go out to you. I am sorry. I am sorry that you have lost your son, and that this such tragic, senseless act was committed. But it brings me to the point that even experimenting with the littlest and what you think can be the most harmless of drugs can turn into a world of terror. It can turn into a split decision, blink of an eye, end your life decision. Earliest possible release date, 2059. The average inmate doesn't last that long in prison. The young man's nickname is Harry Potter. So, fortunately, he's surrounded by good people that take good care of him. And it's just because he's a good kid and they feel horrible for him. He hangs around a good crew of guys that look out for him. Whether he feeds them some extra, what, I don't know. I don't know his financial needs whatsoever, or financial means whatsoever. But I have reached out to him, and just money isn't something we've talked about it. And remorse is something we have. That's something that man has a great deal of. And I don't want you to look at the definition of murder because of the fact that somebody lost their lives. I want you to look at the definition of murder as if, does this meet that? Does this meet the criteria of murder? I just don't feel it does. But never forget life's choices, guys. Because even the most innocent of things can turn into the worst of things. This is just one of the many examples I've seen of somebody's lives, more than multiple lives, ruined. Families ruined. 3 families. There's 2 victims, and Mr. Scott was a victim of experimenting with the drugs. Yes, he was a criminal, and he does not deny the fact that he took his friend's life, but the intention was never there. He never meant to hurt his friends. I believe his friends know that. But hey guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that channel if you want to help out. Never forget life's choices, and hey, if they ain't hating it, you ain't making it.